Hi, welcome to the online 2026 Spartan Robotics Open House. I'm Sabrina.
And I'm Camden.
So first we'll be showing off our robots. Everybody say hi.
Hi.
Hi guys, let's talk to software. So what do you guys do?
Alright, so we code the functionality of the robot. So we take information from a bunch of sensors, we do logic based on that, and that turns into output to the motors. So that's in general the role of software. So part of that is coding up the autos for the robot. So first 20 seconds of the match, the robot is fully autonomous. So we need to plan that out. Part of it is the shooting logic. So you obviously need to calculate with some physics to what angle and what speed you need to shoot out the balls from the shooters to get into the target. And the other main part of it is vision. So we use cameras that detect those April tags. They're kind of like QR codes, and these have a predefined location on the field, and we use that to solve for the location of a robot. And that's important for example, the calculation of the shooting logic, like I said before. So the main robot code is programmed in Java. We use this library called WPIlib that a lot of teams use, and it runs on this machine called the Roborio. It's not that powerful. And then for the vision part, we do something kind of different from other teams. It's written in C++, and it runs on an NVIDIA Jetson Orin. So it's able to use the GPU to do the vision stuff a lot faster.
That's so cool. Thank you guys.
Yeah.
Let's start off with our electrical table.
Okay, so this side of the table is all focused on our soldering stuff. So this is something that we use to make our button board, which is so awesome. And this is all student made. This is also our Orin, which is used for vision. All student made. Wow. There's some of our new students that were freshmen this year made these boards for our motors. And this is also something that a student made. That's our mini power distribution board. And then over here, also a camera used for vision, our main breaker for power, our canivore, and our power distribution board. And then right here, there's some focus on wiring. Here are some tools used for crimping, and this is how it turns out. And then this is a model of how our wires look.
That's so cool. Thank you. Let's visit the mechanical table now.
Hello, welcome to mechanical. Here we have some mechanisms we have from previous games. This is our pivot from 2025. We have a big gear here that meshes with another gear connected to an X60 that lets our arm pivot around in order to better score game pieces on both sides of the robot and things like that. Here in the middle, we have a flywheel that you may see later in our robot demo as well as in the robot behind you. This has 50 degrees of motion. It's run by two X60s that are currently taken off, but those are really strong DC motors that also ran that one earlier. And this just helps us shoot as many balls as we can into the hub, which is a scoring element of last year. And this is from a while ago. This is 2017. This is one of our most impressive mechanisms ever. This is the die rotor. Basically what it does is it's on a bearing here. It's on a bearing, it spins around really fast and grabs these balls from a circular little hopper. They go up into the die rotor, into our turret, and they shoot as fast as they can.
That's so cool. Thank you.
Now let's visit our entrepreneurship table.
Entrepreneurship is basically outreach, and we run several programs that are sponsored by our team. So first is our Spartan Sports Camp. So we have a robotics camp over here that we run for 2 weeks. And over the course of 2 years, which is how long we've been running it, I think we've gained over $70,000. And then we use these spike kits to have in the camp, and we basically teach the little kids, which are elementary and middle school age, how to build them, and we also introduce them to our robots. And here is our outreach documentation, which holds everything we've been doing for outreach for the past few years. So another important thing that we do is we have a JV team, 9584. They are a 25-person team composed of only first-year students. So basically, if you join this team, you get a lot of hands-on learning experience and you get mentored by our senior members on 971. Additionally, we participate in a lot of festivals like the Apricot STEM Fair, the Mountain View Art and Wine Festival. If you want to do something business related and robotics related, entrepreneurship is a great team to join. So this is our main lab, and we have some of our past robots here.
This one right here is Buckets, and it's from 2022. The one behind me here is Doffel, and it's from 2023. And if we go all the way around, this is our 2019 robot, Tayshawn.
So hi, I'm Sabrina and this is Camden, and we are two of your training leads this year. And then, yeah, let's get started. So this is what your life will be if you don't join Spartan Robotics. So it'll be 4 years of high school, 4 years of college, 2 years on the job training, and then basically you'll be 24 before you know what a life in STEM is like.
However, if you join our team and become a member of Spartan Robotics, this is what your life will look like. You'll be able to know what you want to do before you get to college by specializing in like a certain pathway like electrical engineering, mechanical engineering, or anything like that, any type of leadership too. And you'll get all the STEM skills that college students don't even have until their second year by the ripe old age of like 15 or 16, and by the time you're in college.
And you're like, wow, I don't want to not know what it's like till I'm 24. So that's why you choose to join our team. And we build like 150-pound robots that are very high level. We go to world championships almost every year. And we've been doing that for a decade. And we experience lots of competitions, and it's a lot of fun.
You can also make a lot of friends and like connections through these like competitions and just like on the team as well. So what is First Robotics? So First is a program and have like several different things like First Lego Day or FLL, First Tech Challenge, FTC, and we compete in First Robotics competition, which is like the highest level for people in high school. It was created by Winnie Flowers as a program to get all students in a pathway of STEM from a young age. And just make sure like everyone is included and everyone gets to participate and learn all these really cool skills.
So this is what our team shirts look like. And you can see this is a little bit outdated, but we're sponsored by big companies like Google, NASA, West Coast Products, Intuitive, PG&E, Apple, and we're also sponsored by Johnson & Johnson. And this is what our shirts look like this year with all of our sponsors on it. It's pretty cool.
And this is an image from DCMP, which is one of our district competitions that we went to this year. As you can see, this is like not even our whole team, but we have a lot of people. However, some of them are leaving, and we want to make our team even bigger with the help of you guys. So if you join, you can be a part of like photos like these. You can see everyone's like having a lot of fun, like everyone's like really bonded. It's like a great community to be a part of. So just like help make our team bigger, and we can get to be a part of this.
And then this is our JV team, Spartan Squared. So if you have little to no experience, you might want to join this team. It's only for first year students, so you'll get a lot of hands-on and personal experience with our student mentors and our other mentors. It's limited to 25 members, but if you're very hardworking and dedicated, we'll definitely have you on this team.
So if you're on our team, there's like kind of 3 core skills that you get to learn. The first one is kind of just mechanical skills, which we'll go over now. Then is leadership, and then you get to like go through technical stuff, which is like kind of like a combination of the two. But the first one for mechanical is computer-aided design, or CAD. We have a program called Onshape, which is different from some other teams, but it's the one we use. And if you look at the image over there, it might look kind of familiar to you because this is just a 3D version of the robot you saw outside working, of a robot mixtape from this year. So before we make the entire robot, everything is modeled and included in CAD. So every bolt, every nut, every piece is done in CAD before in this really complex model. And in this image over here, you can see a separate subsystem from one of our older robots. So we CAD each subsystem separately to simplify it before integrating them all together. And it's like a really integral and foundational piece of how we make robots for the season.
Also, just as a side note, me and Camden were both graduates of our JV team 9584, and it's really helped us a lot to develop the leadership and technical skills to succeed in 971.
Like for instance, Sabrina did a lot of like great work working on our climber this year, which we didn't get to implement, but she used her CAD skills from 974. And I was also a subsystem lead for our drivetrain this year, where I also got to implement a lot of the CAD skills again, such as these that we learned in 954.
And then next is manufacturing. So this is like the machines that you saw in that room. It's the router, which is the thing that goes like this and cuts custom plates. And then the mill, which looks like that, which is in that corner. Also the lathe, which cuts like cylindrical shafts type stuff. And it's really fun to like manufacture these parts. And it's something that you don't learn like anywhere else. And one of the graduates who's right here, he goes to UC Berkeley right now, and he was saying that he only got into like this very selective architecture Berkeley club because he knew how to run the router. And apparently like the acceptance rate for that club is like lower than the school. I don't know. But yeah, you learn a lot of valuable skills from manufacturing.
Next is electrical. So most people don't really like look at electrical as like a super big thing in robotics, or like want to join it, but like don't sleep on electrical, because if you're doing up to manufacturing and CAD work and you like have your entire robot made, if you don't have like the wires being able to like light it up and actually make it work with like an understanding of that, it can't like run, and it can't be integrated with software to make it work. Which brings us to
Software. So software is a very important part of robotics. Like it makes the robot move, which is like a very important part. One of the big things in software is there is a 20-second autonomous period. And autonomous means that there are no drivers or humans controlling the robot, and it's just the robot and the robot's code controlling the robot. So we have a lot of our software members work on that, and it's very complicated, but it's very rewarding. And actually, at our recent competition at Half Moon Bay, we got the autonomous award for basically having like the best autonomous, and it was pretty cool. And software, it's a lot of fun. Yeah. And the next is entrepreneurship. So we go to a lot of events like the Mountain View Tech Showcase and also the Apricot STEM Fair. And this is from 2023, so we've been going to these events for a long time. And we basically have a demo of our robot, and we talk to like a lot of cool people, a lot of parents, a lot of students, a lot of just other random people, and it's very fun. And then we also host other programs, like I'm sure you've seen, we run a camp through Spartan Sports Camp, which is like our own robotics camp, and it's almost completely run by students, and it's really fun. And then we also are planning other outreach things, like we want to create like our own kits that we can send to other schools, so we're currently planning on that. And because of our outreach capabilities this year, we got the Engineering Inspiration Award, and that's me in that photo if you couldn't tell. And it was our first outreach award since for 8 years, and our second one in our entire team's history, which is like since 2002. So it was a really big milestone for our team, and we're really proud.
Next is scouting. So scouting is like a non-technical part of the team that we use during competitions. So anyone who's not a part of the pit crew or drive team is generally a scout. And what they do is they basically watch all the matches during competition, regardless of if our robot is running or not. And they look at the robots individually and see how many points did they score, are they good at defense, figure out their strengths and weaknesses, and collect all that data to be used by strategy. And what strategy does is they take that data and decide these are the best robots in the competition, these are the worst ones, and decide which ones would be best to work with. Sort of like in like a sports draft for like making a best sports team or anything of that. And Sabrina can talk a little bit more about pick lists and what we do further.
So in each competition, there are like qualification rounds where everybody plays, and elimination rounds where only the top team plays. And basically, before the elimination round, you have to choose 2 other robots to be on your alliance. If you're in the top 8, you choose other robots to be in your alliance, and this would be like 2 other robots. So you have to choose the robots that are the most like compatible with your robot. Yeah. And it's like a lot of brain work. We have a really great strategy team that like knows what they're doing, and it's sort of like something that you wouldn't expect from a robotics team. But like I didn't expect to be like, wow, like deciding which robot I would want on my team and not just making the robot. So it's like something a little different, and it's very exciting.
Yeah, and just to showcase like how much of an impact stuff like strategy and scouting has, because we at 7-1 have a really, really great scouting and strategy program, it's kind of one of the main reasons we've gone to Worlds or done well at competitions leading up to Worlds in the future. So it's sort of like if you have a really great robot but not the right strategy, you might not go as far. However, we make really great robots and we have great strategy, which allows us to become one of the best teams in the world. And continuing on with that, besides just scouting and strategy, there's a lot of other Worlds competitions that are that your students could be a part of. So over here is an image of one of our pits. So at every competition, there's a pit and a pit crew, which is like a small area where the robot goes before and after each match. If it gets damaged, it can be fixed up, or just to do tuning, to change autos, everything in between, just to make sure the robot is ready to go onto the field. And a part of that is the pit group, which is a select group of a few students between mechanical, electrical, software, and those groups that contribute to the robot, just to make sure the robot stays healthy in competition. And additionally, there's drive team, which is comprised of our driver, our manipulator, and our technician, which again are a group of people that actually drive the robot in competition and make sure we do well and execute strategies to the best of our ability. So before the actual season, we hold drive team trials, which are available to everyone here. So regardless if you've been on the team or not, you can participate in these tryouts, and we highly encourage you to, because if you're good with like an Xbox controller or you play a lot of video games, you're probably going to be a good driver and have the opportunity to maybe be part of this team.
And then next we have kickoff. So kickoff usually happens on the first Saturday of January, and it's basically where the new game description, all of the rules, all of the game pieces, the field, everything gets released. And basically we meet from like the very start of the day to the very end of the day, predicting what the game will be like, designing our mechanisms, figuring out our general strategy, and then we start prototyping, which is like, in my opinion, the funnest part of the season.
As I mentioned before, we go to something called World Championships a lot, which is like the culmination of everything we do on the team. And this is an image of what Worlds looks like. It's held in Houston, Texas, so it's out of state, and it's a massive event, as you can see. There's like tons and tons of people that go. There's several fields all in one place, and there's like a bunch of other stuff there. People bring BattleBot showcases where you can like look at past BattleBots, and all the competitions are held here. So again, if you want to like help us go to Worlds again, which is like one of our main goals, and do well here, then please become a part of our team because we want to get new members trained up so that we can continue being a great team that goes here, and so you get this opportunity as well.
But what do you do if you don't have any experience? You join the training team, and without the training, you can still join, but you won't have the knowledge and the experience required to contribute and be successful to the team during the season.
Just to add on to that, like all the stuff we mentioned before, like electrical and like the complex CAD can look kind of like intimidating or scary, especially if like no prior experience or like if you're just like a very beginner to all of this. But I can assure you, if you do our training and just like are part of our team through the off season, there's really nothing to worry about, and you can get to a point where you can be like a very big contributor. Me and Sabrina are great examples of this because we both had like no knowledge of like what like wires do or like how to build stuff, like what any of the machines in the lab do by our freshman year. And now we're sophomores and we're able to teach you guys all of this as training mates. So all you really need is like a year, a couple of years, just like through this training, and you can be very big contributors.
So basically an overview about how the summer will go. So the slides are wrong, but it lasts the whole 3 months, and it involves CAD, which is computer aided design, which is how you design the robot, electrical, manufacturing, software, and also competition processes. And in the end of like the first month, you'll have a little robotics project, which is a gearbox, and it's kind of like the foundation of everything you'll design if you choose to go that pathway. And also we have the mini challenge, which is basically, it's after this, and we'll put you in like a group of other students from our team, and then you'll create like a shooter, and then whichever like student group makes the shooter that shoots the furthest, basically wins that little competition, and it's a lot of fun, and it introduces you to robotics.
So what are our lab meetings? Lab meeting schedule is kind of broken up into the season and the training and off season. So over the summer for our whole training program and during the start of the school year, we operate on boost hours. So Wednesdays for 2 hours from 7:15 to 9:15, and Saturdays from noon to 6. This is like 8 hours a week. However, on Saturdays, especially for the season, we know people's schedules can kind of get pretty busy. So on Saturdays, that 6-hour block, we split it up into 2 3-hour sessions from noon to 3 and 3 to 6. So if you're only available in the early afternoon or if you're only available in the evening, that's totally fine. Another question we had from a different group is if you're not available over the summer, are you still able to participate in this? Yes, and we highly encourage you to. So if you're gone for large blocks, feel free to come to as many trainings as you're able to or that you want to go to. But if you're not available at all over the summer, we have a separate training pathway which goes through everything we teach here in a more condensed forum. And it starts on August 12th, which is 2 days after the start of school. We'll be sending that out through the emails and making sure you guys are all aware of that, just so you don't forget and you know when to show.
And then also, here's the sign up for the team. If you haven't already seen this, go ahead and do the QR code. But there are also other flyers around, like there's one there, and then there's a few in the other rooms.
Additionally, if you go to our team website, which is frc971.org, that's all the information for signing up the team, and it can just like, it's another method for like going through the whole process. Okay?
And then next is our summer sign up. So basically, you should do this, and the only reason that you like shouldn't be doing this is if you aren't here the whole entire summer, and then also if you just don't want to join robotics at all. But if you found out that you really like robotics and you really want to join our team, feel free to just sign up. We really want you guys, and we're very excited to train you. So this is like our yearly roadmap from June to August, which is sort of right now. We have our summer prep. So me, Camden, and a bunch of other experienced student mentors will be prepping you guys and making sure that you know what to do, what robotics is, all that kind of stuff. And then from August to December is our official off season, and it's around 8 to 15 hours a week. And then we build and design our robots for our off-season competitions, and there are 2. The off-season competitions aren't official, and they're not super important, but we treat them as a sort of shakedown for our official competitions to see what we have right, what we should change, and all that stuff. And then from January to April is the true build season. It's around a 20+ hour commitment during the season, and it's a big commitment, but it's really worth it. And that's when the new game is revealed, and then we build our official robot, and we attend 2 to 4 competitions, and then finally recovery.
Alright, so moving on from students and what we actually do on the team, a big part of how we actually operate is relying heavily on parent support. So there's 4 main ways parents can help. The first is lab supervision. So we can't do anything in the lab, even with a small group of people, if there's not one parent supervisor there. So we have a very intricate supervision team where it's sign-ups, for sign-up sheet. And it's just very important to make sure we can meet deadlines and actually do all the stuff we want to in the lab, just as long as the parents there to keep us safe. The second thing that you guys can do is by being a carpool driver, which means transporting kids from here to the events. Then is chaperone trips. Being chaperones for different competitions. So it's not just for kids, it's for parents as well. And by doing this, you can help with travel, room checks and setting up meals for the events, and also providing food for team dinners.
Team dinners, we do it potluck style, and parents will bring the food, and it's a really fun bonding experience, and it's my favorite part of the season, and I'm sure they relate over there.
And if you want to join this, talk to the parent committee table, which is in the CS room, which you probably already walked through, to become a parent volunteer through MBA.
And the next is donations and employer matching. So we use this website called Benevity, and if your company or employer does volunteer hour matching, they do it through that, and then they record their volunteer hours, and then we use Benevity, and then you give the hours to Benevity, and then they give us money, which is good if you volunteer. So yeah, and I think about 1/3 of our funding comes through Benevity, so it's a really great way to help the team.
And a great example of that, you probably saw in our machine shop over here, the new router that we have from Saber Shop. It was $50,000, and a lot of that was able to happen because of parent support through the Benevity. And this right here is an image of World Championships from 2 years ago, and as you can see, there's a lot of people that go, and everyone's having a lot of fun. So if you want to have a lot of fun, you should join robotics so that you can do one of these happy faces here. And you can also notice our principal, Kit Glazer, who's in the middle. So we have a lot of support from faculty and people at our school because we do so well. So if you want to be a part of that, be one of those faces, you should join the team.
Finally, we're ending with questions. So if you have any questions that didn't come up during now, you can email them to secretary@spartanrobotics.org, and that's me, so I'll probably respond, hopefully in a timely manner. And then if you want to join, here's the link again, and then for parents, students will put your email in the student contact form, so that's how we will be able to contact you. And we have our weekly newsletters, so you guys will always be updated. Any questions?